WFAA TV. You're watching Good Morning Texas in high definition.
The year 1926, television was first demonstrated. George Burns married Gracie Allen, and U.S. Route 66 was established. And two families opened the first Palm restaurant. 85 years and 28 locations later, the Palm is celebrating with a refresh while sticking to its culinary roots. Bruce Bozzi is here to tell us all about it, and cook too. Hi, how are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Thank you.
Well, I got to tell you, when the Palm comes, the Palm brings. Wow,
That's
what
we
a
do.
fantastic spread. Been around now 85 years. Where are you in all of the generations?
85 years, fourth generation. My great-grandfather, P.O. Bozzi, and his partner, John Ganzi, started the Palm in New York.
In New York,
yes.
And it's just continued to be such an iconic restaurant.
Thank you. Yeah, it really has. The two families have been doing it, you know, my father and Wally, my grandfather, and I think that's one of the reasons we're still in the game, is because we have the two families that our heart and soul is still cooking all our food.
All right, well, I'm going to go on and let you start cooking, so we need to begin this process. What are you going to be making for us today?
We're making something called steak a la Stone, which is a simple dish. A guy named Lou Stone, back in the day, this was his favorite dish. And you know, if you hang out at the Palm long enough, you can have, you know, your dish eventually be on our menu.
Wow, so I can have like the page dish someday.
Exactly. So it is, you know, we're going to start with just taking some onions and sauteing some onions.
All right.
And we're going to saute some peppers.
Okay.
Okay.
So far it looks pretty simple, and let me know
simple.
if I can help you with anything too.
Okay. This is an 18-ounce New York. Now, if you're in the grocery store and you want to buy a great piece of steak, you want to look at the coloring, make sure it's a rich red color, abundant marbling, because the fat is the taste, and firm to the touch.
Okay, so you want the marbling.
You can hold that for me while I put that in.
That's probably a better idea.
Right?
Somehow you knew.
Basically this dish is 2.5 minutes on one side, 2.5 minutes on the other. And then, Paige, how do you like to eat your steak?
I like it at about medium, I would say.
Okay, so then what you do is, in your oven at about 425, probably 10 to 12 minutes.
Okay.
So 2.5 minutes here, then you do it,
and then you flip it over here. Okay.
Right, just like that.
All right. Well, while that's cooking, you also brought a lot of the other signature items that have been legendary on the Palm menu, but some that are new to the menu. Tell us about what other options you have brought for us, including this big guy. Holy cow!
This is classic Palm, Nova Scotia lobster 4-pounder. At the Palm we go big, 3-pound, 4-pound, 5-pound. Here we have a wedge salad, which this year we completely re-engineered. Under these fried onions are pecans and walnuts and blue cheese.
It's like all these little layers of lusciousness underneath this sucker.
You can see that. Look at that. Look at that.
Holy
that's
cow.
Gorgeous. We have, this is new on our item, the antipasti, which is, you know, our roots are an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
So we thought, let's have some great Italian dishes. The double steak, 32-ounce double steak, New York. I mean,
fantastic.
That's a family of 4.
All right. So, like back in 1926, what were some of the original menu items back then?
Well, it was pretty simple. In 1926, it was all Italian. Just pasta, spaghetti, a red wine, and a white wine.
Done.
That's it. Then people wanted steak. So my great-grandfather used to run up the street to the butcher and steak, and eventually steak evolved into a signature dish. In the 60s, the lobster came on board.
Wow.
So it was like, okay, you know, so our menu just keeps evolving, and I think that's another reason why we're still in the game.
Well, you know, and the other thing too, I mean, of course, I know that there's been lots of renovations to the restaurant, but you've kept some of the key elements that makes the Palm, such as the caricatures.
Faces on the wall, exactly. You know, in 1930, the cartoonists started to draw on the wall only because they couldn't afford to pay. So my great-grandfather and John Ganzi said, you know what, draw on the wall. And even though we changed some things, we've changed the plates and we've changed the uniforms, and you know, the caricatures are a rivet in the Palm, and you can get your face on the wall, and it's a big honor for us to have your face, Paige, on our wall.
Are you serious?
Yes. Could we do that right here, downtown Dallas?
Are you kidding?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
It would be an honor.
I would absolutely love it.
Oh my God, I love that.
Here.
Thank you.
I'm all over it. Well, I really do appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
So much. Well, I've just got an executive producer asking me if the rest of the crew. He didn't mention the rest of the crew, Mark. No, he said me. He said my face on the Palm, I must say. But I really appreciate you doing here. And now that we've had a great meal, how about working it off for a really good cause? And for that, I'm going to send it over to you, Chris.
Okay, Paige, yeah, great call.